Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Amy, and this is Thin Line 206. I just wanted to reintroduce myself and let you know a little bit about this vlog. So, again, this vlog is created for healthcare professionals as well as first responders and therapists, um, anybody that's in that kind of work or field. This is basically our way of being able to kind of talk about some of the difficult topics that are in our fields. Um, I just want to give you a reminder, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out some of my other social media accounts as well. I'll be posting different things on them throughout the weeks. And you can find that in the comments, the links to all of those. Um, so this week, I am going to be going through and kind of recognizing our firefighters, our nurses, and those who are deployed. So I kind of had a topic already chosen for this week. However, as we all know, life happens, right? So currently, my son is sleeping because he is sick. He had quite the fever last night, and it was quite an interesting night. So, short story for you: he woke up around 4 o'clock, and he had about 103.8 temp. Now he had a temp prior to going to bed, so we kind of knew this was going to be happening, and he ended up getting sick in bed, which, inevitably I took care of. And bless my husband, he is amazing and was very helpful in getting our son cleaned up and back in bed while I cleaned the sheets and did all that fun stuff. So, but I will say I have to take a step back. I say life happens, and I say that for a reason because not everything goes as planned. We never expect things to work out the way that they want to. So, as I said, I had a topic planned, but that is changed because of the event last night. In the middle of the night at 4:30 in the morning, I decided I am changing today's topic. So instead of talking about vicarious trauma, which we will talk about next week, so tune into that. We are going to be talking a little bit about like the workplace and personal life balance. Whew, that is a big one, especially for myself. And just shedding a little light on, my sick kiddo, but also knowing that there are big changes at my workplace right now, and just trying to kind of have that balance. It's not always the most ideal time to have to take time off and be away from work. And so just kind of being able to recognize that for myself. I know that there are other individuals out there. It's totally natural. We are helpers. That is why we are in this field. No other reason is that we want to help people. And that is just our natural instinct and what we want to do. And that's why I went into the field as well. And so with that comes a little bit of kind of uneasiness. Like, I want to be at work. I want to be helping people. I want to be able to help my clients. Honestly, my favorite part about my job is being able to constantly talk to people. And even during this pandemic, like being able to, even if there's a screen in between us, it is so nice to have those moments where I am able to connect with people. I am a people person. I actually worked from home last week, and my first few days at home, I'm like, this is tough. I truly, guys, I struggled with it so much because I am a people person. I like to be around other individuals, and until you are secluded and at home, like which I think is a whole different topic, right? But until you are actually having to experience that and be at home, have a computer in between you and nobody else because your kid's at daycare and your husband's working, um, it's it's kind of lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how people are able to all day, every day, be at home. And this is, I think that there are people that just do that marvelously, but I am not one of those people. And I've noticed that right away during maternity leave. I was struggling during maternity leave and unable to really stay at home. If you ask any of my coworkers or my friends or even some close family members, they could probably back me up on that. I was always trying to find something in the community to do, whether that was even just going to the grocery store a second time during the week just to get out. I am a people person. I need to have that connection. And so what I'm trying to say is it's natural to be, because we're helpers, to want to be at work and to want to be around other people, but life happens. So in this whole roundabout way, kind of looking at having that balance between our professional lives and our work lives, and how so important it is to be able to have that time where we're solely focused at work. And then when we are at home, being able to be extremely focused on our family, because that's important. Um, and so finding ways and different tips that you can kind of move through your everyday to kind of gain that balance. And so I just want to talk about 7 different tips that I have for you, and I'm going to keep it very brief because I've already been kind of sharing quite a bit. But work differently. It's important to find different ways to work differently. Briefly, and a quick example. So as I shared in my first video, my dad was the chief of police in my hometown. And so being in law enforcement, you really, I mean, I promise you that there's other law enforcement officers and even first responders and everybody that's probably watching this can attest to, when do we really get a break? When do law enforcement officers really get a break? And even when they take a break and they're at McDonald's, they get hacked for it. But anyways, so utilizing your breaks for family time. So with my father, like, we would have activities, and I know he's going to be watching this, and so I want to just say, Dad, you are amazing, and I am so glad that you did what you did. I learned so much from watching you growing up, and I'll stop there before either one of us start to get teary-eyed. But anyways, using those times to spend time with family. So if we were at activities and he was at work, it was really hard for him to be able to come to those activities. But again, I know you're watching, Dad. I saw you. There were so many times that I know you showed up, and that was so important in my life. And so, as healthcare professionals, as first responders, those are the important things that we need to do for our families. Being able to take that time. It may not be every single game or every single play or, you name it, but just taking that time and finding a way to use those breaks during your work day, of being able to show up for, even if it's 15 minutes of a choir concert or a band concert, finding that time. Using your lunch hours for holidays. We had to do that even when I was a grown adult with, my brother, using lunch hour as a holiday to be able to just spend, 5 minutes with family. And these days, the best thing that we have access to is technology. So even if you're not able to get away, because oftentimes in our fields, it's so busy. It's back to back. And some days we don't, seriously, I wonder some days how I get a chance to pee. Like, just being completely 100% transparent there. Like, there are days where I don't have a break. And so, using technology, being able to stay in touch, whether that's through text or a quick 5-minute phone call on a lunch break, or if your child's going to sleep and you're out on the road, and you have 2 minutes, being able to call or FaceTime and say, hey, I just want to say good night. Those are the moments that your kids are going to remember. So thank you, Dad. Secondly, it takes a village. It really does. So being able to find those people that are going to be main pieces in your life, main kind of pillars of support, so to speak. So my parents were always my pillars, but there are people in both the teaching community as well as the law enforcement community that just really came together and helped raise us. And so I can think of quite a few people, and just for their own privacy, I won't name them out, but that were super, super helpful in raising me, and that were not blood. And that's so important because it gives kids that opportunity to see how to make connections, and friends, and just staying connected with people in the community and getting involved, which we'll talk about soon. So, and then the next piece, so maybe even as finding a babysitter, or finding people you trust to help you. So as I mentioned, like other people in my parents' work, they assisted in, maybe just, play dates or whatever. And those were always fun. I mean, kids love to be with their friends. And when they're with their friends, they are active, they're having fun. And honestly, you probably pay attention more than your kids do, about the time that you're away. I know I beat myself up all the time if I have to stay late like 20 more minutes at work just so I can get notes done or something. Or, I'm going to school. And so there will be nights that I'll be at work for 2.5, 3 hours late because I have a Zoom call with my classmates, or I have to do a group project or whatever. And the mom guilt is real, guys. And it sets in so much. But being able to kind of rely on some of those individuals, being able to, kind of give our kids that responsibility. When I say like trusting other people to help, I did chores. It was helpful. It taught me a lot of different things. And I know my parents are probably giggling right now. But realistically, like, it taught me responsibility. And did I do it all the time? No. Was I probably a pain because they had to constantly harp on me to unload the dishwasher? Yes. But at the same time, when you look back, there are certain responsibilities and certain chores that our kids, if we're growing our kids and we want them to be successful in life, they need to learn these things at a young age. And I'm not saying like be a slave driver, like, and some people may think that I am that way. My son loves to help. He is going to be a helper in some form of fashion, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but if he gets a chance to help, he will. He helps me meal prep. He's 2. It's crazy, but like, finding little things that they can do to feel successful and to feel helpful, to feel needed, it's a way for you to kind of be able to get your chores done and your work done, but yet also spend that time with family. The other day I was folding laundry and my son picked up a towel, just a washcloth, and folded it perfectly. And yes, I struggle with that. Like, I won't let my husband fold my jeans because it's atrocious. But, that's for a different topic. But seriously, like, and spending that time and seeing how he's developing those things, it's awesome. He loves to help me with laundry. It sounds crazy. He's 2. Trust me, I am not like getting on him for having to put things in the washer or anything like that, but he loves to take like his clothes and I'll hand him like light clothes that aren't super heavy, and he'll throw them into the dryer. Like finding those ways that you can kind of implement that family time, but also um, teaching them, responsibility and finding people that you can trust, whether that's your kids or other family members to help, trading off with friends to do different activities. I mean, that is a win-win because it gives you a break, and then you know that later on you're going to give them a break. And it's just super helpful, and what a great way for our kids to kind of learn some independence from their parents, but also learn how to take direction from other parents, from our elders, kind of seeing how other people live, and all those good things that it teaches our kids. So, as I was mentioning, just delegating whenever possible. Lessen your load at home. Use your kids for chores. Even at work. I know not everybody is able to delegate certain tasks, but if you look really deep, there are probably some tasks that you can delegate for someone else to do. And what better way to be a leader in your field, even if you are not considered a supervisor or a leader, you can still show some of those leadership skills by, delegating certain tasks, having people help. So when we're working as a team, everybody needs to be a part of that. We can't just, plow over other people and expect that people are actually our supervisors or superiors are actually going to view that as leadership material. And so being able to kind of delegate or organize in a way that we can kind of lessen our load at work as well as home. So it's going to look differently for different people as to how that looks. Obviously, if you are trying to save a life, you can't just like step back and be like, nope, you're doing CPR because I need to lessen my load. That's not going to work, but finding what are the different, how can you work as a team is what I'm essentially trying to say. And on top of that, like being organized. So we all have different ways that we organize our schedules. I, as a therapist, have a little bit more flexibility with that. Obviously, I have my certain times that I have to do meetings. And so the things that are not able to be flexible, relook at your schedule. Schedule those things first. If you know that you have a meeting from 1 to 2 on Monday, and that is not something that you can control, schedule all of those things first. Secondly, go in and schedule your breaks, because as we're talking here, having that self-care is important. Now, taking into consideration that there's going to be crises. I mean, I work in mental health. There's not a day where my schedule couldn't change. But being able to be flexible and planning ahead is very important. So knowing that I have something due on Friday by the end of the business day, I'm going to probably plan to have that completed by Wednesday, because if crisis comes up on Wednesday and I am not able to take care of it that day, then maybe I'm doing Thursday. So just finding those schedules and those routines that work for you is so important. So then also throwing that over and having that spill over into our personal lives every day. And I just recently, this year, started doing this, is planning out your day, literally scheduling and sitting down in the mornings and writing down every every time of the day what I have going on, and making sure that I am following that, but being flexible. So at, 11 o'clock, I plan for Barrett and I to go out and play, but he's really tired or he's sick, like he is right now, and he needs an early nap. Okay, well, you know what? We're just going to throw nap time now and then we're going to go play later. So just having that flexibility, and that's going to look different for different people. Um, Always having a plan B. So very important. So just reminding ourselves that nothing is perfect and nothing is going to work out the way that we want them. So going back to the beginning, what I mentioned about how I had this whole other plan, and this whole other layout kind of already scheduled to talk about today, and it just didn't seem right. And I think that it'll be a great topic for next week. And so we will get to talking about vicarious trauma, which was my topic for today. But just reminding yourself nothing is perfect. Having a backup plan is very important. Being flexible is very important because things are going to happen. One day we're going to be at work, and the next day we're going to be in a freaking pandemic. And so being able to be flexible and adjust what we need to based on what's going on. Don't make big life changes when you are going through stressful times. Um, as I mentioned, and obviously, we're in a pandemic right now. This is not the time to make life-changing decisions. This is a time to kind of give ourselves that opportunity to look at how we can change our lives and our schedules and our routines to kind of fit with what is happening in the world right now. People are having to, wear masks at the grocery store, or people are ordering their groceries instead, or different things that we're having to do to be flexible. And so not making big life changes, because we're already, even the least stressed person is going through some life changes right now. And this affects everybody. And so being able to not make those big life changes, being able to keep things as stable and as consistent as they need to be for you right now, because it's one less thing to worry about. It's one less thing, unless there's death or like if it's truly life or death. If there's blood, say, is there blood? Am I dying? Is someone else dying? Like, keep yourself in future thinking mode. Don't irrationally, say, I'm just going to quit my job. I'm just going to walk out, and not have a plan B. As we talked about in the last point, it creates unnecessary stress when we are already going through a lot. So, I mean, I know we're in a pandemic right now, so that's an easy example, but being able to just analyze our lives and look at where are we at right now? Am I too stressed to make this big life change? And, chewing on it for a little while. You don't have to make that decision immediately. You can create plans and make dreams. That's not a problem. But like giving yourself that time, it takes that stress off, because we already have enough going on, enough anxiety and all that stuff. And the last one I just wanted to talk about is strive for 5. So 5% change. Creating a balance in life is an ongoing process. So figuring out how do I create a balance between work and life, but not expect to make 100% change between today and tomorrow, because it's not going to happen. It's not realistic, and it's not sustainable. We're going to stress ourselves out. So focusing on 5% change can help with creating those baby steps, making slow changes. Maybe initially you're focusing on getting involved in the community to help you have some of those supporters in case of an emergency, or just as a break, or whatever it may be. So maybe you're going to focus there. And then in 2 weeks or a month, you're going to focus on making some small changes to your scheduling, or whatever it may be that it looks good for you and works for you. So just make it realistic, something that's obtainable, something that we can actually achieve. And just a reminder, you're doing a fabulous job. I know that parents out there all the time, parenting is hard work. It is the hardest job. I don't care if you're the CEO of a company or the president of the United States. Honestly, being a parent and trying to help grow a child whose personality may not be your own, or it may be your own. Oh, Lord help me. It's hard work. And there are days where I wonder, how the heck did I get through that tantrum? What did I do? What ended up working? And constantly being able to kind of question that in a way of analyzing it, in a way that we're not like, questioning our own work, like judging ourselves, for example. Just reminding yourself that you've got this. You're doing a good job, and I appreciate your work as healthcare professionals, as first responders, as therapists, as pharmacists. Whatever your job in the healthcare or service field, just know that your job and your work is so important. And you've got a really tough job. And I constantly was thinking about this today when my son was at the doctor. And so I just want you to know that people are watching, but in a way that show them the passion. Show them the passion that you have through your work. The doctor that we saw today, we have seen multiple times, and he is probably one of the best urgent care doctors that I have ever experienced. He's so patient. He was super kind. He talked at my level, and he even joked and laughed and got Barrett involved, and he did not want to go to the doctor. So just know that you guys are you're affecting lives in a positive way too, and we can choose how we want to react to certain situations. And I can't sit here and say that I haven't had a stressful conversation with a patient where holding my composure took every bone in my body and every muscle in my body to stay calm, because it was so frustrating. We're human. We make mistakes. Allow that opportunity to make mistakes. We're not going to do it perfectly, but just remind yourself you're doing a good job. You've got this. Your parenting is hard work, and finding that balance between parenting and work is even harder. So just know that you're doing a great job. Finally, I just wanted to say I will be doing a short, very, very short video, not nearly as long as this one, on Wednesday, just discussing Red Shirt Friday. So pay attention and look for that. And I hope that this was helpful. And please comment, ask questions, interact with other people. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. for more videos, and also like and follow my other social media platforms, and I will put those in the comments. Thank you guys and have a good day.